This week we head to Oz Comic Con in Adelaide to catch up with, well, some comic writers, artists and editors. We've got 5 of the best here for you, so take a look, you might see something you like. This is Player Attack. Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this week we're facing another one of those good news, bad news situations. Which one would you like first? The bad news? Well, alright. Australia's last AAA-style developer, Canberra-based 2K Australia, has closed its doors. The studio had contributed to all 3 Bioshock games and the Bureau XCOM Declassified, and was the only developer Gearbox trusted to create Borderlands the pre-sequel. However, it seems that the cost of running a studio in Australia was just too much for 2K games. One lovely thing that did come out of the closure was the amazing outpouring of support from the games industry, both in Australia and overseas. Studios across the globe posted about job offers and hiring opportunities, promoting the stack of Australian talent that suddenly found itself with a lot more time on its hands. Our best wishes are with those affected. But now on to the good news. Just weeks after Harmonix took the wraps off of Rock Band 4, Activision has stepped up to announce Guitar Hero Live, a brand new spin on the music genre.
Come on, you got this.
We'd been hearing rumours about this for a while, but now is the first official statement. Described as a quantum leap forward in both immersion and realism, Guitar Hero Live combines traditional rhythm gaming with a new first-person perspective. This means you'll be fronting a virtual band, looking out from the stage onto a real crowd, which will react to everything you do in real time. Guitar Hero Live also uses a brand new style plastic guitar, which has been designed to better resemble a real guitar. This one uses 2 rows of 3 buttons rather than 1 row of 5, and should lend itself to a more natural playstyle. Both Guitar Hero Live and Rock Band 4 are due out by the end of the year, and both games promise very different experiences. Guitar Hero is trying something different, completely revamping the game, while Rock Band 4 seems to believe that if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The most obvious difference? The peripherals. It looks like Guitar Hero Live won't work with anything other than the new model fancy guitar, while Rock Band 4 has made the clear statement that that game will be 100% compatible with all of your old school plastic guitars and drums, no matter which game they're from originally. Harmonix is also hinting that once it gets its hands on a Guitar Hero Live controller, it'll try to program in compatibility for that one too. In other good news, EA and DICE have, after 2 long years, finally given us an actual trailer for Star Wars Battlefront. I think we'll just let it speak for itself.
Safety's off! Come on, push up! Stormtroopers incoming!
Despite waiting so long to hear anything about the game, we won't have to wait too long to actually play it. Star Wars Battlefront is due out on November 17 of this year for PS4, Xbox One and PC, and pre-orders are available now just about everywhere. In the meantime, as one door opens at EA, another one closes. The studio has confirmed that Battlefield Heroes, Battlefield Play for Free, Need for Speed World and FIFA World are all being shut down in mid-July. It seems the publisher has looked at the number of people who are using free-to-play games these days, and, for these ones at least, that number's pretty low. Back onto happier news again. The Witcher 3 has gone gold, which means there will be no further delays in getting the beautiful fantasy RPG onto PC, PS4 and Xbox One on May 19 around the world. However, you will have to make another choice. Activision and Bungie have announced Destiny's next expansion pack, House of Wolves, which will also be released on May 19. The new content will include new social areas for players, new maps, new ships, a new arena and new story missions, as well as several new quests, but one thing is missing: a new raid, which means that Destiny players are being effectively forced to check out the game's PvP mode. Mortal Kombat is now available around the world, and NetherRealm has surprised us all a bit with the inclusion of the series' first gay character. Kung Jin, the younger cousin of longtime Mortal Kombat fighter Kung Lao, is an archer, a former thief, and a member of the Special Forces unit featured in the game. His gender preferences are hinted at during one of the game's many flashback cutscenes, where he explains to series veteran Raiden why he cannot join the Shaolin monks. Cinematic director Dominic Ciancialo has explained the internet buzz by simply answering yes when asked outright, "Is Kung Jin gay?" And finally this week, we didn't ask for this, but there is a brand new Deus Ex on the way as Mankind Divided marks the return of Adam Jensen. No release date has been mentioned just yet, but Deus Ex Mankind Divided is in the works at Eidos Montreal for PC, PS4 and Xbox One. For more information on any of these stories, or to keep up to date with the latest gaming news, head to playerattack.com. But for now, stick around, we've got plenty more still to come.
I'm Johnny Robot here at Oz Comic Con in Adelaide, and I am hanging out here with my main man. Would you care to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Jon Sommariva from Sydney, Australia. Draw comic books.
There we go. Pretty easy wrap up. Now, you've got a pretty varied art style at the back here, and also, I want to say discography, but it's not music. Library of art.
Yeah.
You've worked on the Turtles. Do you want to talk a bit about the Turtles there?
Yeah, sure. So at the moment I'm doing the covers for the IDW animated series for the Ninja Turtles, which is really cool because I've drawn Ninja Turtles my whole life since I was a young kid in the 80s, and you know, I've always loved drawing them, and now I get to do it professionally, so that's really cool. It's fun.
It's pretty much a dream come true.
Yeah, pretty much.
Also, amongst your massive library of artwork, you're also branching into the Magical Water video games.
Yeah, that's right. So at the moment I'm working on some cutscenes which are going to appear between levels on a game called Wolverblade. It's coming out on Xbox, I think, later this year, hopefully, if we get it all done in time. And it's really cool because they're taking my drawings and sort of animating it all together. The style of a game is a really classic, old school 2D beat 'em up, so kind of has that Golden Axe vibe, so but really gory and bloody and violent, which is fun but very cartoony, so you know, it's not too full on, but yeah.
Especially with your stylized artwork, it would be quite a juxtaposition to see that against violence.
Yeah, well, that's a funny thing because a lot of people associate my work with very sort of kid-friendly, you know, animated kind of stuff, but I actually don't mind drawing a little bit of blood and guts from time to time as well, you know, and I think it does make that, like you say, a juxtaposition, you know, so maybe because I come from, you know, I used to love Warren Bodie. He's an old artist that influenced a lot of graffiti art, and my art sort of has that graffiti kind of vibe about it, and his work was very adult orientated, you know, they talk about a lot of maybe adult themed stuff. I don't know what I'm allowed to mention here, but I don't want to cross the line or anything, but yeah, his stuff was very very cartoony looking, but very, you know, kind of sexy and, you know, maybe a little psychedelic, that sort of thing. So yeah, maybe I guess that's probably where that sort of want of mine comes from, maybe.
How are you enjoying the show so far? Has it been a pretty good turnout here in Adelaide, or is it?
Yeah, big time. Love it. I always love doing the Oz Comic Con shows. It's a great show. They put on really good vibe here, really nice venue, all that sort of thing. So yeah, great people in Adelaide too. So nothing to complain about.
Thank you very much for your time, buddy.
No problem at all. Okay, thank you.
I'm here with Bobby Curnow from IDW Publishing. We are at Oz Comic Con 2015 here in Adelaide. We're talking comic books because you've worked on a whole bunch.
A fair amount, yeah. I work on My Little Pony comic books, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books, Godzilla, a whole bunch of other stuff. Too many to mention.
Now, unlike some of the other people that we've spoken to on the show floor here today, you're not an artist, are you?
No, not a particularly good one. I do some turtle doodles, but I am a writer, yeah.
And that's always an interesting topic because many people don't seem to realize that comic books have writers as well. They don't just have people who draw pictures and they make up the story. What sort of stuff does your job actually entail?
Well, I also work as an editor, and that's basically like a project manager, someone who makes sure the book is on time, on budget, and kind of gets it out the door. But as a writer, it's just having fun thinking of ideas and writing the dialogue and telling the artist what might work well on a page. So comics is always a collaborative effort, so it's fun to be part of a team. Yeah.
And you've worked on some pretty diverse things, even just the two big names that you've mentioned, My Little Pony and Ninja Turtles. That's a fairly broad spectrum there. How did you get involved in both of those?
Well, I've always been a big Ninja Turtle fan, and so I really pursued that. And for My Little Pony, basically, when we were talking about who was going to be editor, I had an idea for a good couple of creators, and so they said, "Okay, great, that's your book from now on." And now I'm sort of in a pigeonholed as if it's a talking animal, I'm probably working on the comic book. So that's okay. I like talking animals, so it works out.
I can think of worse things. I was actually about to ask if you copped much flack for the My Little Pony connection.
Yeah, no, all the fans are really, all the pony fans are great, and generally, everyone, we're all nerds, so we all have our own nerd thing that we nerd out about. So generally, nerds are pretty respectful of other nerds, so it works out okay.
I guess by the same token, there were probably also people who would consider throwing shade at you because new Ninja Turtles aren't the same as the old Ninja Turtles, obviously.
Well, yeah, there's always the purists, the people who said, oh, the original comics are the best, but then there's the new generation. So I personally love it all, so the more the merrier.
So what are you working on right now? Well, what is Oz Comic Con taking you away from working on right now?
Right now, in September, we're going to have Ninja Turtles number 50. So it's the culmination of storylines we started years ago with issue number 1. That's pretty exciting. Right now, we've got a 5-week event called My Little Pony Fiendship is Magic, which is the origin of all of the big bad guys in the Equestria, in the My Little Pony world. So that's the kind of big things that are going right now in my books, and I'm excited to see them out in the world.
Are we talking about what's coming up after that yet?
Yeah, I've got a graphic novel that I've written that's going to come out next year. Can't talk too much about that, but that's also taking up a lot of my time. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for coming to Australia, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
It's Star Wars Celebration time, and we're toasting the launch of Star Wars Rebels Recon Missions with a giveaway. The game itself is already free for smartphones, so thanks to our friends at Disney, we're giving away DVD copies of Star Wars Rebels Spark of Rebellion, the feature-length animation that kicks off the brand new CGI series, Star Wars Rebels. Spark of Rebellion fits in after the events of Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, but before A New Hope, telling the story of a band of rebels who will help spark the Rebel Alliance.
Entering hyperspace.
Want to win your own DVD copy of Spark of Rebellion? Head to playerattack.com for the links to the Star Wars competition, fill out your name and contact details, and enter the secret keyword, which is on your screen right now. The competition is open to anyone in Australia and runs all the way up until May 1st, with the winner announced on Player Attack shortly after. For the full terms and conditions, see our website.
Hi, I'm Jessica Citizen from Player Attack. I'm here at Oz Comic Con 2015. I'm with Australian comic artist extraordinaire Douglas Holgate, who has an amazing array of pretty awesome stuff. You've got books. You didn't have books last time I saw you.
This is, I have come armed with books this year, which is very exciting because you're right. Last time I saw you, I hadn't had much out at that point, book-wise, so... yeah, it's actually nice to bring something new to one of these shows for once.
So for people who might not have seen or who might not be familiar with the amazing world of Douglas Holgate, where should we start? Where can we give people a rundown of quite what we're looking at here?
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm a freelance cartoonist based in Melbourne, which is in Australia. And I predominantly illustrate kids' novels, kids' books, and comic books. I've just self-published a new book called Maralinga, which is set 300 years in the future. It's a bit of a post-apocalyptic adventure. The road meets Akira meets Nausicaa, which is really exciting because I haven't self-published in a while. So I have romantic notions of self-publishing. And what else do I have here? I've got a book called Explorer, which is published by Abrams Books in the US and is an anthology of all ages comics. And I've got a short story in the back. Yeah.
People have also been noticing this Batgirl poster lurking over there.
That's one of the images that apparently has gone viral online. I've got a couple of those, and it's always quite profound and odd when I find it on places like Tumblr and people have shared it without my prior knowledge, and not in any kind of bad way, just they've liked it and put it up and credited it and all of that. But there's 1,000 people liking it and sharing it, and I'm like, oh my goodness, the internet's a big place. It's not just me and my friends.
I have to admit, I've seen it pop up in a few places, and I get a little buzz out of it because yay!
I know that guy. Yeah, it's been a good show so far. Yeah.
So then the obvious next question is, where to now that you've got the books and you've got the pictures and you've got the posters and you've got obviously the Tumblr fame and fortune? Where next?
Keep working. Where next? Well, I'm currently working on a 3-book graphic novel series for Scholastic Graphics in the US called Clem Hetherington and the Ironwood Race. And that's with the same writer that I've collaborated with on Maralinga and also Explorer. So that's kind of the next big long-term project. So yeah, things like Maralinga are basically a side project that we're, because Clem is such a long-term project, we wanted to produce something that we could kind of drip feed out and say, hi, we're still here, we're still doing stuff. But yeah, Clem with Scholastic Graphics is the big next exciting project. So not out till 2017, I think. But it's a big book, so that's why. Yeah.
And for people who might like what they can see, where can they find you? Obviously, you're online.
I am online. I am at DouglasBot on Twitter, and I am skullduggery.com.au is my website stroke Tumblr. Yeah.
With me is one of the greats of the modern comics at the moment, Mr. Francis Manapul.
Thank you very much. Good intro. Yeah. It's very, very true. Yeah.
Every word.
Every single word.
Now, you're probably best known for booting up the New 52 run of The Flash, which was fantastic art-wise. What else have you been up to, my friend?
Oh, thank you very much. Right now, I'm currently writing and drawing Detective Comics. So we're entering into our 3rd arc, which comes out in June, post-Convergence. And before that, we had the Icarus storyline and the Anarchy storyline wrap up. So it's going to be a good summer.
Now, without falling into some area of fellatio here, the art style you brought to The Flash and even the Icarus run of Detective Comics, your artwork and your coloring is just amazing. What led you down that path to get to that kind of style, which is so very different from everybody else?
Oh, thank you. With Detective Comics, I have a collaborator on them. So my colorist, actually, Brian Bucciolato, so we work on the stories together, and he colors the interior, and I draw and color the covers. Just because, usually I try to go for this iconic movie poster-like thing. I feel like my style came from necessity. When I was trying to... Back then when I was trying to create my own style, I found that I inevitably kept unintentionally sort of imitating my favorite artists. And I found that once I started inking and coloring my own work, because I wasn't too familiar with those mediums, I was forced to create a style. Rather than create a style, it was more draw to the best of my ability with tools I wasn't used to to using all the time. So the style really just came out of a natural habit of using these new tools that I hadn't before.
Now, like you said, you've worked on Batman, you've worked on The Flash, you're working on things that you can't quite talk about. Sure. Who would you like to work on in the DCU that you haven't had a chance to put to paper yet?
I haven't had a chance to work on Aquaman yet.
Arthur gets a tough break, man, but I can dig that.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of potential there, and I think I have some good ideas that I would like to do if I ever got the chance.
Can you squeeze Detective Chimp in anywhere?
I had no idea there was a Detective Chimp. Maybe. I'll see what I can do.
Hi, I'm Johnny Robot here at Oz Comic Con Adelaide, and I'm here with Tristan Jones. Tristan, tell me about yourself. What makes you so magically special?
I don't know about magically special. I mean, my parents tell me I'm special, but that's probably something else entirely. I am a comic artist, and I'm also a comic writer, so I guess that kind of makes me a little special in that I think I'm the only one here that does that. But I started off as a writer for the Ninja Turtles. Then I became an illustrator just because I wanted to start telling my own stories, and I couldn't afford to pay any artists to do it. So I learned, pretty much how to do that. And then I did Ghostbusters for a bit, did some more Turtles, did Silent Hill, the game series. I'm working on the Mega Man stuff for Archie Comics. I've done more stuff for Archie Comics. I've worked for Image Comics. And right now is a pretty exciting time for me because right now I'm working on the Mad Max comics for the Fury Road. There's some tie-ins coming out through DC's adult line Vertigo. And I'm doing one of the books based on Charlize Theron's Furiosa character. So it's a very kind of exciting time, especially being the only Australian that was kind of picked out of all the artists that were all kind of lined up to do it. So yeah, it's special for me because as a kid in the 80s you kind of grow up on Mad Max, and yeah, it's just exciting. It's fun.
It kind of makes sense, really.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised, given that there are so many Aussies out there who I think are perfect for, there's the Ben Templesmith and all these other guys out there who I think could do perfect Mad Max stuff, that I was the only one. I'm kind of fortunate from that. But I know one of the other guys working on one of the other books is actually the storyboard artist. He's a good friend of mine, Mark Sexton. So, that worked out quite nicely as well. So, yeah, it's a cool thing. It's exciting. And it's a little bit stressful because I'm working on it here in the middle of the Comic-Con floor. But yeah, it's so much fun.
It's one of the things I'm getting from all the stuff at the back here as well. You've got a very 80s vibe going on with a lot of your choices.
Yeah.
Especially the Late Live poster there, which is limited run, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm kind of doing 5 for each show. I do a lot of limited sort of print runs and stuff, and I've been asked to do a few posters for special cinema screenings and things like that. And They Live is kind of one of those things that I saw as a kid, and it kind of stuck there for some reason. Yeah, I kind of went, seeing all these kind of Mondo posters and things like that, I'm like, I want to try my hand at that. Because I'm not a colorist or anything like that, and I like taking interesting compositions and finding new ways of kind of getting across the gist of something, like encapsulating a film or a book. And I guess it's why I get I do a lot of comic covers. I try to encapsulate as much of the film or the subject or the text or whatever into one image, whether it's through a scene or a collection of themes or whatever like that, into one kind of presentable and as iconographic image as I can make it. So yeah, They Live kind of just came out of me sort of scribbling out for a bit, and then I'm like, oh, this is working quite a bit. So then I developed it out, and I ended up doing the print up there. So yeah, it's kind of fun just playing around with the things that I love, and then finding other people who feel the same way about it and get really excited about. I get excited when other people get excited about me doing these things, So it's what kind of keeps me going in this is that encouragement from other people. So
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tristan.
No, thank you for having me.
And that's about it for this edition of Player Attack. Thanks for watching. Next week, we're sticking around at Oz Comic Con a little bit longer, chatting to actor and director Michael Hurst, best known as Aeolus from Hercules, as well as StarCraft voice actor Neil Kaplan, and both Finn Jones and Daniel Portman from Game of Thrones. In the meantime, you can catch us on playerattack.com. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. And if you've got something you want to say, send us an email, mailbox@playerattack.com, or just hop on our forums. Till next week, I'm Jessica Citizen, and this is Player Attack.